Libra.
Hello everyone, it is a new month and it's good to see you here as always. And before we start today, I would just like to thank you all for sharing. Our site is growing and I totally appreciate that, and all your comments, your feedback, your emails. Even though I may not have time to go in and respond to all of them, I do read them, so thank you for that. Now, also before we proceed, I have created a little tune which is for healing, and that in mind I have those that went down on the Malaysian jet, those who crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, and for their family members who have lost their loved ones, also the ferry boat that capsized with all those children in it. And most of us, we are mothers, you know, and as females, even for those of you who have no children, we are natural born healers. It's within our natures. And don't get me wrong, I also have a good percentage of you men too, so you're absolutely welcome to participate. But I would like to ask you to take a moment to listen to this, and while you close your eyes and allow your hearts to open and send forth that healing energy, both to those who have departed, but also to those family members who are left back, and the hurt that they're feeling. So I thought I'd do this month. You'll find a button so you can just click through, listen, and then come back, and we shall see what's up for you here now this month. Hello Libra, this is your forecast for June 2014, and this is a travel month for you, long distance as well as short distance. Now the sun is moving through your 9th house, so yeah, you might be seeing family, friends, you know, at far, or maybe they're going to come to visit you. And it's also the area of you, of your philosophical thoughts, reaching for those higher realms. It's in the house of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius always loves to be, you know, on the go and always chasing new horizons so they can learn from it, right? So it wants to research. This is the Gemini side that loves knowledge, you know, and you're such a knowledge lover, wanting to know always a little bit about everything, right? So this is a great month for you to do so. If you are on vacation, bring books, you know, this is what you love to do. You love to read when you have the time to do so. We have Mercury retrograding on us this month, and it will be here from the 7th. And currently, as the month starts out, it is going to be in your 10th house for career. So you might see how that's going to open up for you here early part of the month, that first week. And so do what you need to do before the 7th. If you have any contracts, for example, needed to be signed or followed up on, do so before the 7th, because we know how those contracts may go haywire under a retrograde phase. But then after the 7th, it's going to start moving back into that 9th house, not before the 18th. So you have ample time here in your career to tie up any loose ends that you need to. But after the 18th, well, that's when it goes into that 9th house, joining up with the sun. And the sun is really happy in this area, and so Mercury, which is also a traveler in its own right, because it rules that 3rd house, short distance travel, now in the 9th house, long distance travel. This is why I'm saying you can have both short and long trips this month. And it would be catching up with friends and family at far, and spending time with them. This is why we love when Mercury goes retrograde. It gives us that break from our daily, day-to-day routine, so we can go and catch up with. You know, this is why retrogrades are so important. For Mercury, it's all about communicating, right? But then we also have other planets now in retrograde. We got Neptune turning retro this month, all the way to November 16th, and that will be on June 10th. Neptune is spiritual. It's that higher understanding. It's the higher octave of Venus, which is love. And so you might come to see how you might be more reflective between now and that of November. For you, your Neptune is in the 6th house. And Neptune, which sometimes can rule addictions, that's the lower frequency of the planet. The higher frequency is rising above all of that. And why do we have addictions connected with Neptune? Well, it is because we have that echo, like the echoes of the canyons, you know, the repeater system. And so a smoker, an alcoholic, a gambler, they may have all of these things coming back. You got to go do this, do this, do this, and then you act upon it, right? Thinking it's your own thought, but it's only the addictive voice. But here now, when we have retrogrades, yeah, a lot of those old things can come back. Situations from the past, I'm not saying addictions, though that could be included too if you have an addictive personality. But situations from the past could also echo, bleed in, and filter through to the here and now, asking to be processed. And the higher frequency of Neptune is all about unconditional love. It's about forgiveness. So you might see that situations may come up between now and November that maybe at some point disillusioned you, hurt you, and it's time to let it go. Forget it. And I know a lot of people are stubborn when it comes to forgiveness, saying, no, he or she doesn't deserve it, they hurt me. You know, it's like, yeah, but that was like way back when. You know, that was like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Why are you still carrying it? You've been recreating it every single day since, if you allowed yourself to carry that wound. Okay, that's your choice. It wasn't what they already forgot about it. Maybe the day after they said or did whatever they did. It's out of their mind. But you have chosen to carry it. And this is why forgiveness is so important, so you can liberate and free up. So make sure that you monitor yourself here over these coming months and see, ask yourself, what do I need to forgive so I can walk a little lighter upon this work path, right? This earth path, the earth walk, sorry. So for that, for you, it's in the 6th house of daily routines. It's also your health. You might see how things are coming back around there. It's also your co-workers, how you relate, interact with them. There might be situations from the past that can kind of come up. If it needs to be forgiven, forgive that, right? If you haven't done it, forgive yourself for not having done so. But it's the power of the now. It's always the now that you're in control of, not the past or the future. Nice lesson there from Neptune, and we have that new moon for you alongside here with Mercury, Jupiter, and the new moon here in your Cancer house, your career house. So I'd like to say, until Mercury turns retrograde on the 7th, use this time to see exactly where you can expand your horizons for work. Jupiter is on its last leg. Okay, it's going to be 12 years, guys, before it comes back around here to this area for you. We still have somewhat of July as well, but it's now, you know, use the vision that you have. Create that picture perfect, non-limited. Don't put a ceiling or a roof on it. Where do you see yourself? Not just now. You know, since it's going to be 12 years, where do you see yourself in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 8, 10 years? Where do you see yourself on top of the next Jupiter cycle? This is what you are really planting the true seeds for. And since you have the new moon in this area, you know, we get this once a year. Next time you get the new moon in your career house next year, Jupiter is not going to be there. So you want to make the most out of it now to make right career choices. And a lot of you have been vacillating back and forth here over the last several months while Mars has been going through your sign. Should I do this or should I do that? But if I do this, then I can't do that. Okay, so if you're vacillating, not quite sure of direction, I've put a little link up here for the top 10 choices of career for all you sun signs. But see if something there resonates for you, because now, as Mars now is starting to move forward again, from May 19th. On the 20th, it's going to move forward. It's in your first house, Virgo, no, Libra. And for you, it's about making, hopefully, having already arrived at a good decision, okay, from that vacillation, that you have arrived with it, because now Mars is slowly but surely, to begin with, it takes time to pick up speed after a retrograde, but then it's going to shoot off, right? And it's going to catch up really quick. So we want to make sure that you are happy, that you're centered, that you're balanced, that, you know, your scales are right where it needs to be in the middle there. This is when you're optimizing all your energy. So Venus too, let's just talk about Venus before we find the dates. Venus is powerful this month. It is your ruler, and it is in the sign here of Taurus though, which it also rules, so double rulership there. In your 8th house, it has to do with money, and Venus rules money, so that's good. And it's money that you have along with your partner, okay, shared resources. You might see that this is going to be something important here this month. Maybe your partner is going to be more generous with you. Maybe you might find yourself being more generous with your partner. But it also rules, you know, financial institutions. Maybe there's a payout coming to you from some legal case, or maybe a payout from an insurance company. Somehow, one way or another, you might just see how this can boost your own financial situation. And then, of course, let's talk about that love, because this is the house of intimacy, ruled by Scorpio. So, you know, when Venus is in Scorpio, it relates, not just shares, it relates. You know, there's a lot of in-depth healing with that Scorpion energy, the Plutonian energy. So you might just come to see how you can bond differently, more intimately, you know, in under the skin of your partner. And so yeah, do listen to your little May forecast there if you're listening on the early side of this June forecast. So it's right up there. And after June 1st, I will be posting Venus in June and what that will do for you. Right now, the Venus forecast is up for May. So let's see, top of the month, we have Venus and Neptune. Once again, it's love, and it's harmonious here with Neptune. Neptune is that higher frequency, the higher octave of Venus, very romantic here on the 4th, followed up by an unexpected surprise coming in for you on the 6th. This would be in the area for you between traveling and your partnership. It's the 9th and 7th house. So somehow something can be said, shared, or given on this date. And it could also be great news coming from afar, you know, from that 9th house to you and your partner. And then we have Mercury turning retrograde on the 7th, as we spoke of, and on the 8th we have another Venus-Plutonian energy. It's trining Pluto, that depth, that healing, that sensuality, sexuality, relating deeply, honestly with one another. And if you're single, well, this is a great time for you to attract somebody, because the magnetism here between these two planets is probably the most potent of all aspects here when it comes to attracting the opposite sex. Then we have Neptune here going retrograde on the 9th. We spoke about Neptune and what you can expect of it there in your 6th house. And then there's 2 dates we want to be a little bit aware of. There's always something in a month, isn't there? We have on the 12th, Venus and Saturn are going to be a little bit at odds. So it's all about figuring out now what you do with your money. Okay, so Venus is in the 8th house, Saturn is in the 2nd house, and you've had some restrictions on your financial income here as of late, you know, this transit of Saturn here in this area. So it might be a spending cost. How much am I willing to pay out, or how much do I want to save? But it's passing relatively quickly, so it's just a day or two. It might even be a financial talk between you and your partner. Could be, since, you know, Venus is in that shared resource area. And then the 14th, let's just hope the 12th went fine, because here we have a disagreement that could fire up, you know, unless things were really settled good. Mars is really into self. It's in your first house, so that's the I am. So Mars is here wanting to express something, and Pluto is challenging it. Pluto is the home, okay, home, family. So it's between you and a family member that might be seeing things a little bit on edge, and Mars can easily react. It's fiery, right? It doesn't think, it just reacts. And so if Pluto triggers this, you might find yourself, you know, saying a few things, or it could be vice versa. Maybe you're triggering something to this family member, and then they will have Plutonian reaction, which is even stronger that way, all right? So, you know, if you know what it's about, and if you're seeing the drawing on the wall there by the 12th, you might see that, okay, here we have a situation that's just lurking. You know, it's in the aura. If you see that, if you notice it, at least you're lucky, because you know now, all right? This is how astrology helps us. Then you might be able to avoid and heal it before it even surfaces. So then we have that Mercury retrograde that's moving back out of your 10th house of career into the 9th house. This gives you that extended time to be away, you know, on a vacation. If so, you're traveling, or at least it will give you some extended time to do the other Sagittarian things, which is studying, researching, you know, having your thoughts and moments of philosophy and expanding your vision and so forth. So great time for it, you know, make the most out of it. Then Venus is moving out of the central house and area here in Taurus and the Scorpion house into Gemini. And that's your sister sign, so you're going to like it. You know, it feels very light, very lofty, after a very intense, deepening phase here with Scorpio. It's going to be more chatty and more open, and so on. You'll have that for a full month. And then we're just ending the month here on a couple of notes. On the 25th, a decision to be made having to do with you and your partner. Mars in the first house, Uranus in the 7th house. So there might need to be a very swift decision to come up that you hadn't really foreseen. You know, sometimes these Uranian situations, it's like out of nowhere, right? A storm cloud. But that doesn't have to be bad. It just means that, okay, now we need to act. Make a swift decision. Boom, okay, unexpected, but there it is. And on the 29th, though, we have Venus and Neptune once again coming together, but this time in a trine. So if your cup was half full and feeling really, really good there on June the 4th, well, you have a full cup here. More of it, more of the good stuff like you had on the 4th. So it's a wonderful way to end this month. So enjoy yourselves, Libra. It's always wonderful to speak and share with you. Listen to your moon and your rising sign, and I will see ya